Whether you're a level 1 noob or a level 300 pro, you are making a lot of mistakes in Rivals, from using the worst settings, choosing the wrong loadouts, to using the worst crosshairs. I've compiled 50 mistakes that noobs make, and by the end of the video you will never lose a match ever again. The first mistake is using too high or too low FOV. You should be using an FOV between 90 and 115 because it balances your movement and your aim. If you're using below 90 FOV, your movement and visibility will be too low, and if you're above 115 FOV, then your aim will be bad. Next is mopping the floor with your crosshair. You should never be looking away from your target, even if you're running away or healing. Looking away from your target will give you a disadvantage for the first few hits and you will lose the fight. Number 3 is not having this setting on. Show crosshair while aiming. Having this on makes it so you can easily track your enemy while scoping in. Many pros used to use a software for this, but with the new update, you can now do this in-game. Next mistake is not slide jumping during fights. You should be slide jumping the entire game, while running or fighting. This makes it way harder for your enemy to track you, giving you a big advantage. Next mistake is that I see many noobs not using their quick melee button to use their right click abilities faster. To throw grenades, heal, katana block, and even freezing someone, you should be using your quick melee and quick utility buttons. For example, if you use your quick utility button, you can throw a molly mid-fight. Next one is grenade jumping like this. This is okay, but a better way is to throw your grenade so that you can hold your primary and be able to shoot right after jumping, rather than having to switch weapons after jumping. And if you were a pro, you would be grenade jumping like this. Another mistake noobs make is playing on 60 FPS. You can change your FPS to 120, 144, or 240 in Roblox settings, and this is from a fast flag, so if you want to know how to do that, then click here. Okay, the next mistake is not moving around while you're flashed. If you know where your enemy was before you were flashed, moving away from them might put you behind a wall, making them miss while you're flashed, giving you another chance to win the round. The next mistake is not being subscribed to me. If you're subscribed to me, you might win a skin case, so join my Discord server right now to enter my giveaway. If you are frozen, don't lose hope, because you could spam click your quick melee katana block or sight to escape the situation when it runs out. If you're using the smoke grenade, you are a noob, because it's literally useless. Neither can you or your opponent can see through it, so what's the point of using it? If you are using a crosshair like this or this, that is bad. You should be using a crosshair that is small and not distracting, not to mention that all pros use small crosshairs like mine. The next mistake is using the same loadout every round. You need to be switching your loadout based on your opponents and be unpredictable. If they are constantly full healing with medkit, you should be using a utility like molly or horn to push your enemy and not give them a chance to heal. Another mistake is not using your secondary. I see people hitting their opponents for 100 HP with their assault rifle, but instead of switching to their secondary and finishing them off, they go and reload their primary and end up losing because they healed or they pressured you while reloading. Another mistake is picking bad maps, like who wants to play on Onyx and Backrooms. Unless you're trolling, do not pick these maps. The next mistake noobs make is reloading like this. What if I told you there's a faster way to reload? On the second animation, switch to a different weapon and then switch back. You'll be able to skip the animation and shoot right away. You can also quick melee to cancel the animation and shoot right away. The next mistake is using the gun blade normally. Instead, you shoot all 8 bullets and use it as a melee to instantly 3-tap your enemies. The next mistake is throwing your flashbang like this. You should aim to the sky and throw it straight up so that you can flash your entire side, increasing the chance of flashing your enemy. Another mistake is swinging your riot shield. When you swing your riot shield, your enemy is able to shoot you. So instead, wait for your enemy to reload and quickly shoot them with the revolver and switch back. Everyone knows about the freeze backstab trick, but did you know you could do it faster? Instead of waiting for them to be unfrozen, shoot them right away and instantly quick melee ability to backstab them right away. Another mistake I see noobs making is not pre-firing. If you know where your enemy is going to go, you should shoot your gun before seeing them, which gives you extra hits and a bigger advantage. The next mistake is buying weapon levels. This is just a waste of keys, and all you get is an ugly wrap every 50 kills. I see noobs shooting their sniper like this, but that's too slow, so instead quick melee fists after every shot and you can shoot it this fast. Instead of using the RPG as a primary, use it for movement like this. Equip the daggers and fists to double jump after shooting to infinitely fly around the map. Here are some settings that you have to change right now. Camera zoom effects to 0, field of view effects off, camera shake off, muzzle flashes on, accessibility flashes on, crosshair static off. Your ADS sensitivity should generally be lower than your normal so that when you're aimed in you have more accuracy, but mine's is the same. Also, you should never buy charm capsules in Rivals. This is just a waste of keys and they're basically invisible. YouTuber charms are worth collecting though. The next mistake is not using the slingshot correctly. If you aren't bouncing them on walls, this secondary is useless. Oh, and by the way, you can move your trip mines with it. Many noobs use the chainsaw like this. but instead, slide jump before leaving the ramp to go flying towards your enemy. You can also switch to the daggers to go super fast and far. Another mistake I see noobs doing is using the revolver ability from far away. The ability has a really big spread, so it's best to use it next to your enemy. Another mistake I see noobs making is not using the ability of the flamethrower. You should be using the ability to get high ground and mobility against your enemy. You can also use the katana with it instead because you don't need the sight to get high ground anymore. Instead of throwing your molly from spawn, wait until your opponent is reloading or low ground to easily track them and always get them in the fire. I see noobs throwing their grenades like this, but instead, cook the grenade and look at the circle to see where it's going to land. You can do this to always hit your opponents no matter how close or far they are. A lot of noobs instantly side dash up and start aim dueling, but instead, wait for your opponent to go up and side dash onto them. This will give you an extra 35 damage lead and win you the fight every time. A lot of noobs shoot their energy rifle on the ground thinking that they will get a lot of damage, but instead shoot your opponent directly because in the new update the reflection damage is the same as the normal damage. A lot of noobs think they can't do anything when someone is using the annoying riot shield and katana 24/7, but you can actually use the spray gun to shoot through the riot shield and katana. Instead of spam swinging the battle axe, use your primary and click your quick melee button up close to your enemy to instantly deal 55 damage to them. Do not restore your win streak if it's below 25. Every time you restore your win streak, the price of the restore goes up and eventually becomes 100 keys per restore, and 90% of the time you will run into hackers that will ruin your streak, making you pay 100 keys every time. A lot of people think that when a new big update drops, they lose all their event currency like the snowflakes or candy corn, and that they should spend it all before the update. However, Rivals automatically buys chests with their currency before they remove it, so don't worry about that. A lot of noobs think that the shooting range targets are useless. However, they can improve your flicking and accuracy by a lot, so shoot the targets with a pistol and you will see that your revolver aim will get better. The next mistake is not changing your loadout. You need to be switching your loadout based on two main things, your opponent and the map you're on. If you're on a big map like Crossroads or Docks, you should be using utilities like medkit or grenade, but if you're on a small map, you should be using warhorn or molly because there's nowhere for them to run or hide. If you're not using satchels for mobility, you are a noob. Hold your primary and quickly press your quick utility button and right click. You will be able to fly around the map like this. Noobs use the sniper like this, but instead put your crosshair on your enemy and quickly scope in and right click to do a quick scope sniper shot. Noobs do the trowel jump like this, but instead click your quick melee button and right click to place the blocks. Then go to the second block and click your quick melee. This is a lot faster. Another mistake noobs make is charging their minigun every time. Instead, hold right click so you don't waste any bullets, but you can instantly shoot your enemy without charging up again. A lot of noobs scope in with their crossbow, but this is useless because there's no spread when you scope, unlike the sniper. So shoot your crossbow like this instead for more visibility. Instead of igniting your satchels mid-air, wait until they hit a wall or the ground to deal double the damage. Do not run around with the bow like this. Instead, use a riot shield to turn around and charge your bow. Then you can flick onto them and keep repeating until they're dead. Noobs climb ladders like this, but instead spam jump to climb it faster. You can crouch to make no noise. Instead of climbing ladders though, slide jump on these cones in the docks map to instantly get on a roof. Another mistake noobs make is not using the trowel for movement. You should click your quick utility button and slide jump to go faster. Here's the comparison. And the last mistake is not taking high ground. In every scenario, having high ground gives you an advantage. Whether it's throwing a molly or aiming, your opponent will miss their molly 90% of the time if they are below you. And it is much harder to aim above than it is to aim below. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like the video and watch this if you want to see how to get Nemesis rank.